Okay.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of VWID Talk podcast. Today, Jeremy is
Yep.
back, and we are talking about his smiley ID.Buzz with the Frunk.
It's smiling, it's always smiling. Yes, and now I've got the Frunk that has some function to it. And hopefully it's not one of those boring Frunks like you've seen with other ID.Buzzes. It actually has a little bit of functionality now to where I can actually store things in it, because before it was like an open hole that went kind of down into the fender well on one side, and on the other side there was a little bit more kind of cover, but it would still, you could drop things right through it.
Yeah. Okay.
So without any further
let's take
ado,
a look at the reveal.
all right.
Ooh. Okay.
So just to kind of go over what I've done here is I've basically taken stainless steel that is already pre-machined and milled with 5 centimeter holes in it. And I got those sheets off of Amazon
holes, yep.
in the kind of 2 different sizes that they had. And then I cut them to the size I wanted to kind of dress that top bit. Now the bottom part is a completely custom made piece that was at one point a rectangle for the Energizer battery kind of logo. And I had to bend it to make it fit over that piece of foam that was kind of just sitting there, the black piece of foam. The nice thing is these different pieces are removable if I want to, like the top ones, if I want to get to the secondary, like the 12-volt battery hookup, or if I want to get to the AC lines or other things. There's just industrial strength, indoor, outdoor kind of Velcro on it, strategically placed so that it can be removed and reassembled if I need to.
Makes sense.
So it's completely reversible as well.
Cool.
Now the hardest parts in terms of, first I had to cut everything. So I used wire snips and I used, various pieces of like the edging to do the edging, so that, because it was like I cut my hands up a little bit even like building them, but after I had covered up the edges, now it's nice and like not scratchy or anything when you assemble it and when you put it into the car.
Yeah, because so you when you got the piece, you notched it,
Yeah.
and then you protected the edge
with
this foam, right? Or
that protected, so that's
like
basically a
rubber?
rubber door edge that you can use as a finisher on it. So that way if you reach in there or anything with your hand to like put anything in the little front, the two little small caverns that I have, you can actually put that in there and then not damage your hand, obviously. And then also installing it is something else.
Cool.
And I used the little Volkswagen, the factory little pin, as a little accent in the middle there as well. That's just,
Oh, this one. Ooh, there you are.
it's like a
you
little Easter egg.
VW.
The surfboard on top and everything.
And this piece of stainless, this is just protecting the foam that is beneath
It's just
it, right?
covering the foam.
Just covering the foam, or not protecting,
yeah,
but covering.
it's more mainly because I take my car to different car shows, so
I see. Okay,
it kind of gives it like a fun little theme, because most ID.Buzzes, they don't even open the frunk in the trunk in the front of the car, because there's nothing really to see. So I wanted to make so I had a little bit of something in there, some character. And I changed the on your tip, I changed the windshield washer fluid plug to have the Skoda-style one with the funnel.
So you won't leak it.
Now it's easier to put those in. Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome.
And you can turn it around or
you
whatever.
You can turn it around. That's awesome. So what was the biggest challenge when you were building this? Like, I'm sure there was something that you wished.
There were a few different challenges. Like the hardest thing was, so I cut everything out as like templates, and I was using basically cardboard everywhere to get everything to fit. The first challenge was the base pieces. I did those first because I wanted to make it usable. So
I see.
I would guess a lot of people probably watching this.
So these first,
right? I'm guessing most people just want that piece, by the way, because that's the one that makes your trunk or your frunk functional. It's hard to say that sentence too fast, isn't it?
This one, the bottom one, right?
Yeah. So that, and as you can tell when you put your hand on there, it'll support some weight. Like it's in there. It's in there nicely.
So is it screwed in, or is it just
no?
Press fit?
Well, it's pressure fit, and I've got industrial strength, like self-adhesive Velcro on both sides of it, and where the frame rails are in the middle.
I see.
So
it's Velcroed in.
It's Velcroed in, and it's got anchoring on the left side too, and there's like pressure around all the sides of it. so it can't go anywhere. It can't
Cool.
like you can't hit a bump and
But
have it fall
it
down.
can drop because there's this big strut bar right below
Right,
it,
right.
right? So it's sitting like the weight would be sitting on the big bumper support, which is
That's
right
the
here.
frame rail. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, frame rail. Yeah, yeah. Cool.
And then
okay.
on this side, kind of the same thing. So that one I also had to bend up a little bit to get it in there because I didn't even disassemble or I didn't take off the front bumper. I didn't take off
you didn't.
the filler because that would be really hard.
That would be a lot of work.
That would be lots more hours. But I basically got my template right. And I did trim a little bit off the edges here and there to get it in. But then once I got it in with some, some finagling, and that's why it's good to have the door edge guard on it because then you don't damage.
Don't cut yourself or scratch anything.
You don't scratch anything in there, right?
Yeah. And then what was the idea with the Energizer logo here?
Well, I wanted to cover it with just something that was more a different material, so I'd have some variety in terms of the textures. And as just one sheet of mere stainless, it was kind of boring.
Yeah.
And just to kind of do the car show thing, I put the Energizer logo. And there was by the way, when I went to Poland for Alt Race last summer, there was a couple of really nice cars, and one of them had a really cool engine bay, an older Polo wagon, I think. And he had a Duracell battery in the engine bay, and it was pretty cool. I think it was an EV conversion.
And there were rabbits jumping from the front.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know, but it was kind of in the same. It was more the copper tops. I'm the competing brand, obviously.
Competing brand, okay.
But it kind of looks like a 9-volt Energizer battery a little bit. So.
Yeah. So were there? So stay tuned because we have 2 challenges that we want to talk about. The one challenge is let's see what we can fit there. We have some charging cables, we have some neck adapter, we have some gloves, and so we'll see what we can fit in.
Yeah.
But also I have 3D printed something that may remind you of a 9-volt battery. If that potentially is something that you want to stick to the side. So
maybe
let's get into these 2 other things.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so now we finished the challenge of moving things from the ID.4 Frunk into the Buzz Frunk, and
we got
quite happy what did fit in here.
It fit a bit in there, yeah, I gotta say. So we got these are like your tire socks.
Tire socks, yeah.
Which is good for snow or
winter
something.
Driving, yeah.
Probably not the best ride height of my car for that, but but I can pull that out and see that's not bad. So we got that one. That's
so
one,
we have
one down.
Tire socks. You can just
I'll just put them on the ground.
Right here, yeah. All right, tire socks. Okay.
On this side, so it's a smaller section because there's like the smaller bit there and stuff. But we got an adapter to go to Tesla charger if I wanted to do like the
charging?
level 1, level 2 style.
Yeah, okay.
But there's another charger adapter installed.
Yeah.
And then we got 2 pairs of gloves.
2 pairs of gloves. Okay, so we have the blue ones that are matching with your spout, and a red one.
Nice, brand new. They've never been worn.
They've never been worn. No.
I don't think that charger.
I literally bought them last weekend.
Yeah, nice.
And then, what is here?
And then we've got our first aid kit.
Look at that, first aid kit. Okay.
So then we got our nicer. This is for like the level
DC
3.
charging. Yeah, level 3 DC charging for next.
Proper Tesla charger.
Proper Tesla
adapter.
charger.
And then we've got our
look at that.
the old school, I should say, the level 1 only charger. I've got the black one, but
level 1. So this is the one that I got with my ID.4.
So for 110 volts, so we can pull that one out.
110 volts. Yeah.
Just try to get it out without scratching anything. There we go.
All right.
Perfect. So we got all this stuff.
You got all this stuff. That's awesome.
All that stuff in my
so
modified
fits here. Like, who would guess? I mean, that's nuts. Like, this is awesome.
It's kind of usable.
This is awesome. This is awesome, Jeremy. Okay. So,
not bad.
If somebody wants to replicate what you've done, what they can do?
So I would recommend getting this stainless steel. I got it on Amazon. It was just like a mesh steel, and I want to say that there were 2 different dimensions. The one I used for the top bits was the larger of the 2 dimensions, and the one for the bottom, I want to say it's 20 inches or so that you need for the bottom piece.
Okay.
By like maybe 12 or 14 or whatever it is.
We'll post the details down in the
I can post the
video.
details in the description with the links even.
Are you willing to even share those cardboard cutouts? Like
I
kind
kind of destroyed them, and I think I threw them out.
Okay, okay.
Because I ended up using that side, and I mirrored it to this side and cut it down and stuff.
I see, okay.
So I don't have it, and I ended up trimming it in a bit too after it was cut.
It's okay. So it is an opportunity if someone wants to replicate this and share with the community.
Yes. No, but
cool.
So I cut the cardboard down, and I would say the main thing is do all your test fitting with something like a rigid piece of cardboard or like thin plastic something, because
that is bendable.
This stuff is harder to work with. I used tin snips and everything to cut it, so it wasn't terrible to cut, but it is sharp when it's done. So you will get like, and I've got a few still, I think, a few like scars on my hands from, not scars, but like little cuts that I did doing it. But you know, you suffer for art.
You suffer for art. I love it.
So I got everything, and then basically once it's cut in and you think it's going to fit, then fit it in there with the surround on it, because the surround gives you that cushion that you need, so it doesn't scratch anything, including your hands or the inside of there. And just be careful of not, crimping. There's wires and things that you don't want to pinch or anything. Because there's like a sensor on the left side as well, and just be cognizant of the wires and things in there.
Yeah. Because this was not designed by VW.
Right. And then test, like if you want to build these pieces, and I'm guessing that most people probably just want that piece, which is the most
the lower left where we had the
and if you didn't have the space, you could probably fit even more stuff in there because it wouldn't have that radius edge.
This is not necessary. That's a good point. So this is P0. This is definitely something
that's more higher priority.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Okay.
And then these ones you can again test fit, and then I would say I'm a big fan of industrial strength adhesive Velcro. Like you have to get the industrial. Literally, it's called industrial.
Oh.
And it will survive like cold temperatures, wet weather, the whole thing. I've used it on other cars.
Right there. Perfect.
Yeah. So
love it. And one last thing, here's a 9-volt connector.
Look at that. Let's try it out. Good thing you stuck around to the end to watch this one.
Yeah, awesome.
Thank you so much. It looks like a battery.
It looks like a battery. Now we need to get a voltmeter and check if you have 9 volts. Jeremy, thank you so very much for showing us your smiley Buzz with a Frunk.
And one of the fun things with the Frunk, because I did the Frunk first, the trunk got jealous after I got the Frunk done.
Oh, the trunk got jealous.
So it was like, what the hell, you're spending all the time in the Frunk.
But how about the trunk?
Yes. So then I decided I had to do a little bit for the trunk just to make up for the lack of attention I was giving it.
That's right. So subscribe, because that will be in the next episode. There is something crazy, awesome, factory looking.
Factory inspired.
Factory inspired.
Yes.
That you built in your Frunk.
Exactly. In my trunk, not my Frunk. Yeah.
Oh, your trunk at the back.
the back, the bunk.
Yeah,
you got the Frunk and the
bunk. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for watching.